Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. We welcome you to this session of our Together We Thrive webinar series. So my name is Vivian Chigozie-Nmonwu. I'm a trustee with the foundation, MSME Crowdfunding Foundation. I hope you can hear me, guys. So we can see people already logging in and coming to participate in our webinar. So welcome, welcome, welcome everyone. So please, okay, I can see someone raising hand. Could you please let me know where you're signing in from and what you do? Just put it on the chat box. Let's just introduce ourselves briefly. Let's use the chat box to introduce ourselves. Please let me know where you're signing in from, what you do, um, what you hope to get from this webinar today. Welcome. So while we wait for that, today we'll be talking about the meaning of crowdfunding, the benefits of crowdfunding, and tips how to crowdfund successfully. So crowdfunding is one easy way to raise funds in a developing economy like Nigeria, because we all know the hassles of getting a loan through the bank, all the documentations you need, all the formal procedures, and then the wait, the time it takes, and probably you will not even get, and then the high interest rates. So if we adopt crowdfunding in Nigeria and Africa, we believe is here from the foundation since 2018, we try to bring up or develop or introduce this crowdfunding culture. We believe it's something that will help Africa out of, or Nigeria, let's even start with Nigeria, out of this economic situation that we find ourselves in. So it's an easier way to support businesses, and that is why we are carrying on this mandate. So webinar rules, use the Q&A to ask your questions, or you can send an email to support@fundandenterprise.org. We might have live posts, and we'll appreciate if you can participate accordingly. Then use the chat box to interact, tell us who you are, where you're signing in from, what you do, what you believe the webinar will get you. So welcome, Mohammed from Kano. Then Mohammed is a registered exporter with Nigerian Export Promotion Council. Welcome, Mohammed. We have Abubakar Musa from Niger State, rice processor, Eagle brand, and other people. Okay, please continue putting your names and where you're signing from and what you do in the chat, so we can all network with each other. So in order not to waste any more time or to cut into our other schedules, we just go straight into today's presentation. Once again, we'll be talking about meaning of crowdfunding, the benefits of crowdfunding, and how to crowdfund successfully on www.fundandenterprise.org. So what is crowdfunding? The crowdfunding is just crowdfunding, just the name. It's about many people coming together to fund a project. So we have a project that we have a target project. Maybe let's say we want to do a borehole or in our community or in our village, and we say, you know what, we want to fund this project. We want all the village people to contribute. That is crowdfunding. Or we want to build our street. We want to build a tarred road on our street. Okay, every landlord on this street, please contribute. So we can see from that picture how several people are contributing money. So people have come to the platform to ask us if this is MMM, if this is network marketing, and all sorts of confusing questions that are obviously from people who do not understand what crowdfunding. It's just simply what we have been doing since ages. So crowd funding a project, the same thing happens in church. All the churches operate based on the principles of crowdfunding. Everyone in the church contributes one by one. Some people contribute more, some people contribute less. to fund a particular project. If it's to build a church, building, if it's to for harvest and bazaar, we know all these things. It's very common. Village people and all that. So it's just essentially the name. Crowdfunding means just the same thing as the name, which is crowd, that is funding. That's just the meaning of crowdfunding. So there's nothing hidden or any other, nothing different, except that this time around it's being done on the internet, and I'll come to that. So you have crowdfunding is as old as when humanity started. You have the isusu, you have the cooperative, people joining together to fund. Every month we fund one person. The person uses it to fund his business or family or wedding or anything he so wants. The next month, everybody is funding another person. So that is, crowdfunding is just what we do all the time. Communities, another example is communities funding a project. People coming together to say, okay, we want to build a borehole or want to build a street. Everybody contributes to it. And that is crowd funding a project. This time around, we'll be dealing with businesses alone on fundandenterprise.org. So the same, I talked about churches and NGOs contributing, members contribute. Talk about another type of way to crowdfund is when your friends or relations and family members contribute to a business venture. That is also crowdfunding. Then the government itself funds its operation through crowdfunding. It tells all the citizens, you have to pay tax, you have to pay levies. That is crowdfunding. That is the government raising funds from every other person in the country. Okay, so now we're talking about crowdfunding through the internet, which came out in the 21st century. It hasn't been there before. Is crowdfunding through the internet to widen the network of people who might contribute to the fund. So it's not just about our local churches or about our cooperative that has only 100 or 500 members or 1,000 members. When people have taken the bold step to say, you know what, we can do this crowdfunding on the internet. We open a portal just like www.fundandenterprise.org, and everyone, everywhere in the whole wide world, as long as you have internet access, you can log it. So crowdfunding on the internet targets about how many, all the, about 3 billion or so people who have access to the internet and who can contribute, even if it's £1, even if it's $1, £1, €1. So crowdfunding has gone a step further, or has gone tech. So it's no longer the small groups that we have funding a project, but now every crowdfunding can be done all over the internet, open to everyone in the whole world, as long as you can reach them or they can reach you. So example is fundandenterprise.org, which is crowdfunding on the internet. Example is kickstarter.com. Another one is Kickstarter deals with creatives like movies, novels, ebooks, books, plays, and all the creative arts, essentially. Then GoFundMe, you can fund anything. You can ask for funding or crowdfund anything. On fundandenterprise.org, this one is based in Nigeria, Africa, and the only thing we fund there is businesses. So everybody has their own types of crowdfunding, and with that, we'll be looking at the different types of crowdfunding. So we've now discussed the meaning of crowdfunding. Please let us know if you have any questions on the meaning of crowdfunding as we have discussed so far. Please put it in Q&A. We'll pick it up and then we'll deal with it at some point. Then if you have comments, you can also still contribute on the chat box. Please, let's keep it interactive. So types of crowdfunding over the internet. So you have equity-based crowdfunding, that is shares. You're giving out shares. Somebody is crowdfunding and saying, give me this money, I'll give you a share in my company. I'll give you so much number of shares. This one is highly regulated. So it's not something that is being done in Nigeria at the moment. And there was a bill for crowdfunding that came out not too long ago, last year, actually, and the final act, the signed bill, has not come out, but it seeks to regulate equity-based crowdfunding on the internet in Nigeria. Because before now, there was no regulation at all, and it wasn't actually allowed. So because of the Securities and Exchange Commission's rule to sell, so it's like selling your shares to the public without listing them on the stock exchange. That's what it essentially will be if you're doing crowdfunding on the internet for equity, in return for equity. So you give some of your business equity or shares in return for the funds you are getting from backers. Backers are donors. In crowdfunding, there's a terminology known as backers. Backers are people who are backing your campaign. Campaign is we call it campaign. Campaign is your what you're putting up. The action of asking for funds, that's campaign, is an action. So you have a campaign that, like something you put up on the internet to tell your story, to ask for money, that's your campaign. You're campaigning, just like somebody contesting for election, you're campaigning that people, please come and vote for me. In this case, vote for me with your money, vote for my business, come and back me, backer, that's donors, that's funders. They all mean the same thing. So when you hear those things, campaign, crowdfunding campaign, backers, please do not be, or do not wonder what this one means again. It's all the same thing. Campaigning is the act of asking for funds on the internet, or even not on the internet, anywhere. Crowdfunding campaign. Then backers are the donors, or you just say donors. People who are donating or who might like to donate to your crowdfunding campaign. So the second type, there are 4 major types. These 4 major types can be broken down into some other tiny types, but we'll just deal with the 4 broad categories here. So the second one is debt crowdfunding. That is people who come to we have a number of them here in Nigeria. We have the one for agric, like Tribe Agric. We have Farm Crowdy. We have PiggyVest. We have several of them that have sprung up recently. Those are debt-based, debt crowdfunding, because you give them your money to back or to fund the project, and they use it to fund that project, and in the end, they pay you back your money plus interest. That is debt crowdfunding, and that is the one that so many people are familiar with here in Nigeria, because people tend, by human nature, we always tend to want to get something back. Okay, if I give you my money, what are you going to give me back? So, or how are you going to pay me back? So that's why that one is very popular here. You pay, somebody uses it to do a project, and then the person pays you back with interest. Then the third type of crowdfunding over the internet is called reward-based. This is the one that the likes of Kickstarter, GoFundMe adopt, and fundanenterprise.org. We also adopt reward-based, because people would always want to get something in return for what they're giving you. So in this case, the reward-based crowdfunding usually works with people who are trading in goods. It works with services as well, but if you're trading in goods and you want to produce, you want to start a business to manufacture, let's say you're manufacturing tomato paste. Let's say you're manufacturing packaged meals or packaged food, packed foods, and you need funding to start the business, or you want to start trading in it. Mostly it works for manufacturing. So if you want to start manufacturing, you're coming to crowdfund and say, you know what, if you give me up to 5,000 naira, you're going to get 1 pack or 1 carton of this new biscuit I'm making, or this new tomato paste I'm making, something like that. Then you also have the rewards that doesn't necessarily have to be tied to goods, to your goods or services. You have the reward that you can say, you know what, if you give me up to 1 million naira, if you're a donor, to give me up to 1 million naira, we're going to bring you to our local farm or our local manufacturing outfit. We're going to host you in a hotel nearby, and we're going to, use this thing to make a meal for you, 3-course meal. We're going to give you a holiday or something like, okay, we're going to put your name as on the product label. Anywhere you see our product, you see your name majorly backed by this person or this company or this group of people. So that's a reward. So if somebody reads it on your campaign, that's on your crowdfunding campaign. I've discussed campaign before. That is what you draw up, the action of asking for funding, your page on our website or on other people's crowdfunding websites, your page that talks about your project and on where you're asking for money. So that's your campaign. When people come there and they read this thing to say, you know what, give me this, I'll send so much units or dedicate certain features of my product to you, or I'll come to this, if you give me 1,000 naira, I'll come to this crowdfunding campaign and I'll publicize your name, or I'll go to my social media handles and I'll tag you and retweet your tweet for 1 week, something like that is a reward. So if you promise something like that to people, to say, give me 5,000 on this campaign, and I promise to retweet and like your tweet and share it or your social media page for over 1 week, over 1 month, people might actually want to donate because they are getting something in return. So that is what our crowdfunding platform recommends, that even though you can do just post and say, give me money to start this, you explain your business model to us, and if it makes sense, people can donate, but it will be more effective. That's what we recommend on fundandenterprise.org. If you offer something as a reward to say, for this level of donors, I'm giving this to you. For this other level, if you donate 1,000, I'll give you this. If you donate up to 5,000, I'll give you this. If you donate up to 100,000, I'll give you this. If you donate up to 1 million, and so on and so forth, so that something that can actually entice people to donate. So reward-based, they are not going to get their monies back, but you're going to give them either the product you want to produce or the service, or certain other promises that you must fulfill, because these crowdfunding platforms, and especially our own, it has a space where people can come and give feedback. So if you didn't eventually fulfill your promise, people will come here, give feedback, and it will be public, and you cannot delete it. And everybody will know that you're not straightforward. Then the fourth one and the final one is donation-based. This one, you give nothing back. You just put it in expectation that people, out of love and charity, they will donate to your campaign. This one is usually for charity cases, like people who are ill, or children who need help, or communities that need intervention. You just donate to them and you don't expect anything back, but except that they must use the money that you donated to do exactly what they said they will use the money for. So it's heartbreaking when somebody gives you money on crowdfunding and your plan is to divert it. So that's why on fundandenterprise.org, it's a crowdfunding platform where you don't pay back, but you either give something in return, which is most likely your product or service, or thanksgiving, or promotion, or shout out, or you make sure you use the money that was given to you to do exactly what you were giving the money for. So we must monitor, we must follow you to make sure you don't divert that money. So that's for donation-based crowdfunding, mostly used in churches, in funding charitable cases or community development and all that, or even for business, if people wouldn't mind giving you, just like that. So on www.fundandenterprise.org, it is a reward-based crowdfunding platform. It's a hybrid of donation and reward-based, but we recommend strongly that people do their campaign in such a way that they give out rewards, because it will be more effective that way. Then the benefits of crowdfunding. There are several benefits of crowdfunding which people who have been involved in it would attest to. First of all, it is an easy way, it's the easiest way for if people contribute to my project and they do not expect me to pay back, except that if for instance, my project is producing a type of t-shirt, and all I need to do is package t-shirts and send to them when eventually I produce. I believe is the easiest and most benevolent or generous way of supporting one another, especially in Africa. So that's number one benefit of crowdfunding for me. I don't have to give you my business plan, go to open a bank account, do this, do that, bring collateral, a lot of stress. That's the easiest, that's the most important benefit for me. And then you have a situation where many people are contributing to a fund. So it's lighter on every person. So the burden is light. So you won't come because I'm your sister or I'm your brother and you believe I have money, and every time you're loading me with funding request. Sister, please, I need this amount. Oh, this my sister has money and she has refused to help me. Wicked sister. Or I will be aggrieved and say, I have given this my brother millions of naira. Each time I give them, or this my sister, they will squander it and come back and start blaming me. A lot of people suffer that in our community, believe it or not. So instead of loading one person with this request and believing that this person is the devil that you're seeing, that they are not helping their brother or sister, you just spread the burden to everybody on the internet, everybody that can have access to the internet, everybody that can see your campaign, to say, hey, can you please support my campaign? I'm going to give you this in return if you support my campaign. So you're not going to blame one person. You're not going to be in enmity with one person, which you shouldn't be anyway, because nobody was brought to this earth to continue helping other people. Yeah, so everybody needs help. Everybody needs support. So crowdfunding is a way to distribute that burden so that all of us can support all of us. So if I have 500 and you have 3 million, we can all support each other, because I can give my 500 and you can give your 10 million or your 20 million. So another benefit of crowdfunding is when you're documenting your crowdfunding campaign, you're actually advertising what you're doing. So if people are contributing to it, that gives you an indication that your business at no risk. You haven't started this business, so you can actually use crowdfunding to test it. So there's no risk for you. You are not losing any money because you have not invested anything yet. So, but you can come out and say, I am doing this crowdfunding campaign. I am going to be producing shoes, this kind of shoe that has not been seen before, or that can help you, maybe a shoe that you can use and when you're running, it makes you run faster. I haven't seen that kind of shoe, but I believe someone can develop it. The shoes that have springs that can make you run faster if you're wearing them. So you test the idea. You put a crowdfunding campaign out there to test the idea. So when people actually start donating to it, in expectation that you're going to give them, if you have promised 1 or 2 shoes to them, and hey, people say, okay, let me contribute, I want to get this kind of shoe. That means they're already buying your products ahead of before you even produce it. So it tells you that, hey, this business is going to work. So even before I produce, just because I showed sketches and pictures and what I want to do, people are already buying it ahead without even seeing it. That means the business will work. So it's a method of pre-selling or pre-advertising or testing the market to see if people will buy this product when I eventually invest in it. So your first capital comes from crowdfunding. At the same time, your first set of customers also come from crowdfunding. So before you even produce, you have already finished selling. It's just for you to use the money, produce and ship to them, and then make your profit and continue selling. So crowdfunding allows you to pre-sell. Yeah, I've talked about that. Then it helps you to raise funds without the difficulties of formal loan application, then you don't need collateral to raise funds through crowdfunding. So I've explained crowdfunding, and these are the few most important benefits that we can take within the time. But if you, by the time you start engaging in it, you find out all the other benefits of crowdfunding peculiar to yourself. You experience the benefits yourself. So tips for successful crowdfunding. Is crowdfunding successful in Nigeria? Not so well, especially when it has to do with donation or reward based. It's not something that is common. What is common here is debt, the one that you give and they pay you back with interest. That is what is common, and they pay you back with heavy interest. That's what people want. But in the Western world, go to Kickstarter.com, go to GoFundMe.com, all those Western, the foreign-based crowdfunding website is working well. Donation and reward-based crowdfunding is working well. Many people have used it to fund, but I think Nigeria still has this trust deficit. You need to be able to trust the system, to be able to help each other. You know, it comes down to, you know, a communal mindset, the type of mindset that we just experienced just in these last 2 weeks when everybody was on the same page, you know, and donating money from all over the world to say, you know what, let's do this protest. Let's see that a new Nigeria emerges. Enough is enough. Everybody was in solidarity with one another. It was a communal mindset, a communal spirit. So that is all what crowdfunding needs. First of all, trust. And then secondly, that communal spirit to say, help me and I will help you. Support me and I'll support you. I'll give you this, my product in return, or I'll dedicate this part of my product to thanking you, or this part of my page or website, social media, any creative thing, or I'll treat you to a small holiday, weekend holiday at my factory. Any creative thing you can come up with, you know, I'll give you my t-shirts, or I'll draw your name on the t-shirt and say powered by this donor, something like that. A whole lot of creative ways to say, support me and I'll give you this. Or we can even come out with that communal mindset to say, okay, this is a noble cause, this is a good business idea, I support with 1,000 naira. By the time millions of people, thousands of people start supporting with 1,000 naira each, you find out that the campaign will be much more successful, and there's money to do the business that the person wants to do. So that's the first one. If you ask me if crowdfunding will work or works in Nigeria, it has worked in the past 2 weeks when everybody donated money for the EndSARS. Many people even donated in Bitcoins for the EndSARS campaign. It worked. That was crowdfunding in action. Then, will it work for businesses? It should work if we trust and if we have the same communal mindset, and it's an easy way to support one another, especially now that the economy is so harsh. So you have tips. What are the tips? How can you create a successful crowdfunding campaign? First of all, we see loads and loads of crowdfunding campaigns. If you go to fundandenterprise.org, you will see just a few campaigns for crowdfunding, not because we don't get people applying to campaign, but because their stories do not qualify. They don't tell their stories well. They don't tell any story. You see somebody trying to raise funds on our website, and the person is putting like 5 lines or 3 lines. I want to develop a farm at this place. Please support me. You know, just like that. I don't think the person is serious to raise funds. If the person is serious, you should be able to tell your story passionately that you win the hearts of people who will donate. If you tell a story and you read it yourself, pretend you're a third party, you're not the person who owns it, and then you come across that kind of story, ask yourself if you're going to donate to this campaign. That's the starting point. So if you're not going to be convinced to donate to that campaign, then you've not started work. So that's why we had to reject several hundreds of campaigns on our website that have come in from 2008 till now, 2018 till now. So tell your story well. Be sure that your business idea makes sense and that you're giving it in such a way that we also see the sense. The audience, this audience, the people who might donate to you, we will see the sense in what you're doing, that you're serious. If you cannot spend time to document the story of your business idea and what you want to do, you cannot spend time to do the proper research, to do proper a short business plan to be able to show the world that you know what you want to do, then you cannot definitely spend time to do that business. It's not, it's a 1+1 equation. It's not complicated. For us here, we have to see the discipline, we have to see the passion, we have to see the zeal. If you want to raise money for your business and you're looking at 5 million and you're giving us 3 lines of this thing of story, I mean, you're not serious. That the person is not serious. If you can't tell your story, document your crowdfunding campaign and take it seriously, as if you actually really want people to support you and buy into your idea. Don't forget, this is your business that you want to do. So if you come the first time, you're coming out very sloppy, people will not trust your brand. Even if you end up making money from somewhere else, that's probably how you're going to be projecting your brand all the time. Very sloppy, very unseriously, the business will not grow. Sorry, I don't know, I'm not a prophetess, but it's just that business needs hard work and discipline. So the second tip, set a realistic crowdfunding goal and timeline. So the experts advise that the shorter your timeline, like your crowdfunding campaign, if you want to create it, they will ask you for how many days. It's most successful for 30 days, 45 days, 30 to 45 days. So for people who come and they just leave it open, you don't even put, unless it's an ongoing project, maybe your community crowdfunding for business, maybe for youths in your area, something like that, and it's ongoing. That's the only time you can leave it. You won't put a timeline, but if it's something serious, if experts advise between 30 to 45 days of crowdfunding, that this is my target money, that's crowdfunding goal. I need to raise 6,800,000 within this timeline, within 30 days or 45 days at most. They say is most effective. Experts say that is the most effective timeline, 30 to 45 days. Then you hype it with everything you got. You share it everywhere. Share it on everywhere, your campaign, once it goes live. Then the goal, set a realistic goal. Know how much you need. Know what is your attainable. Don't come and put any amount just so that you test the waters. We won't even publish your campaign. We must see the breakdown of your goal. If you need 6,800,000, we must see how you arrived at 6,800,000 with pictures or drawings or videos, whatever you may use to show us that this equipment costs this. But I can get a second-hand one that will cost less. So I am putting the second-hand one here to start with. You understand? It makes sense. People will know that you're serious. You're just not coming to look for money, unnecessarily. So you show us the money for the new one. If you can get a good Tokumbo one, you show us if it will work well and not break down in the middle of production. And that this is the funding you're requesting for, to buy this one to test the market. And this other one, you need money for this, you need money for that. And by the time we add up everything, it should give us 6,800,000. And then you're good to go. Please drop your questions and comments. We'll get to it at some point. So then another tip is promise to give out products or services or any other acknowledgements. I've explained this before, as rewards to your backers on your campaign. Then get professional help. I said it before that the way you present the story of your business is going to be how people will perceive your brand. Now you're asking for money to start this business and you're not giving the story, you're not presenting your brand in a very professional way that people will see, no, these people are good. No, 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 no. We need to support these people. They are good. They have the brains, they just the money, they have the skills, the everything, because your story is so professional that people believe in you already. But if it appears sloppy, in fact, you've already started being unserious with your business, so you might not even last long. You might not go the miles for your business because business is tedious and stressful, depressing. You have to keep working hard, working strong, working smart. So if you cannot at the beginning when you're asking for money, and when you're coming out with this idea for the first time to the world wide web or to the whole world, and you cannot present a professional, well thought out, articulated story or brand or face of this new business, sorry, you're going to run into problems. So if you need help, professional help, you get professional help with people who can do this thing. We have people who can help you too to draw up your campaign in a professional manner, but they are going to have to charge you a token because it will take time. It's just like drawing a business plan with the and mixing it with knowledge of crowdfunding campaign, with all the pictures, with market research. It's going to cost you just a token because it's coming through our foundation. We try to make all these professional services or support very affordable. So if you need help, you can send email to support@fundandenterprise.org, but we're going to have to charge you a token to pay the professionals who will help you to draw up your campaign in a professional manner. Don't forget that that's the first time you're coming out or to this kind of platform where people will see you. So they will appraise that business already based on how good your campaign looks. So be sure you have a following. Crowdfunding works best if you have a following already. If you're already doing something, maybe you're a social media influencer, people already like your stories on social media, or you have a following on the internet, and you're doing something already that people like. You have a crowd. Essentially, you have a crowd that you can appeal to. So that's beyond your close associates. You already have a crowd on the internet. So if you now want to crowdfund a project or a business venture, a new one, you can always come out, create your crowdfunding campaign here, because they will also need to see that there's control. That's part of the benefits of launching your campaign on a third-party website like fundandenterprise.org, because people will want to know that, okay, there's a third party holding this money. It's not you directly they are giving, because when they give you, they may not have the machinery to ask you, what did you eventually use that money for? What they will now be thinking, if I give this person, just because I know him on social media, maybe he will not even use it or she will not use it. How do I know? Some people might still give you if you do it on your own. But if you use a third-party platform, this is my own opinion. Like any other third-party platform, to say you're donating, you're raising a crowdfunding campaign and you're sharing it amongst your followers. You say, support me on fundandenterprise.org. They are sure that there's a third party. When they come to fundandenterprise.org, they will read what we have, lay down rules, to see that, hey, there's a control around this money. This person is not going to just take this money and go away unmonitored. So there's a control, and there should be some kind of trust around donating to your campaign. So that's another tip. Then read, when you are done, the most important one is, even if you have gotten professionals to help you write it, by the time you guys are done reviewing, and just about when you're about to submit, just read this campaign again as if you're another person, or get maybe a close friend or sibling who can always tell you the truth, or who antagonizes you even. Someone who is not always supporting you and everything you do blindly, but someone who has your best interest at heart. Get the person to to read your campaign, then ask the person if the person will donate. Like if you see this, even you yourself should be able to read it and say, if I see this campaign somewhere, am I going to bring up money and donate to this campaign? So once you can objectively tell yourself yes, then you're good to go. So those are our tips for a good crowdfunding campaign. So I'm now going to go and give example. I'm going to give example of this campaign on Kickstarter.com. Please follow me, please. Okay. Okay, so I hope you can all see my screen, please. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, so here is a campaign that I want us to look at. It is on Kickstarter.com. So this is a campaign where people have donated even more than the campaign goal. Let me see. Tomato juice, making tomato paste in Nigeria. So this campaign, people, 638 backers, that's donors, donated about $55,178 to help bring this project to life. So here, look at the heading. Now, heading is in tomato juice, making tomato paste in Nigeria. So it doesn't have to be about, some people give us one full paragraph just for title, Hello? Okay. So you can see the title here, giving us a summary of tomato juice, making tomato paste in Nigeria. So I'm just using this campaign as example. I don't know these people, I don't know this company, but it's just a random campaign we picked on Kickstarter that relates to Nigeria. Kickstarter is a foreign crowdfunding website, and unless you have a bank account abroad, you may not be able to use it. So I don't know if they have, I don't think they support campaigns that without local bank accounts. So that's just it. So we'll just give an example with what this person has done that has made him to go beyond this campaign goal, that has made this campaign to be successful. So this is a video that he put up. He put up a video. So we might just want to, take time to listen to this video.
This is me. That's Shane, and we love tomatoes. Actually, we're kind of obsessed with them. It all started when Shane and I left finance to join the Clinton Health Access Initiative.
Mira was based in Nigeria, where she noticed tomatoes rotting in the field. Like any good analyst, she started asking questions.
Turns out most tomatoes grown in the countryside don't even make it to the big cities before they rot. Tomato paste, on the other hand, basically keeps forever. So Nigerians end up importing close to $500 million of paste every year. That's enough to fill the Empire State Building twice. It just didn't make sense for all that paste to travel halfway around the world when Nigeria already grows so many tomatoes. Our solution? Make tomato paste in Nigeria with Nigerian tomatoes. And call it Tomato Joss, a for-profit social enterprise that puts farmers first. Simple, right?
But right now, Nigerian tomatoes don't make the grade because farmers lack access to the latest tools and information. So we're building a model farm where farmers can learn the best growing techniques, like preparing the soil, installing drip irrigation, and sourcing the inputs that make great tasting tomatoes.
Better farming practices improve both the quality and the quantity of tomatoes. This is great for farmers, but only if there's someone close by who wants to purchase them. That's all part of the plan, because making paste requires a lot of tomatoes. In fact, it takes 18 tomatoes to make one small can of paste.
Problem is, tomato paste machines don't exactly grow on trees.
That's where you come in. We've raised enough money to start the model farm, but not enough to make paste. To maximize our impact, we need to prove the whole solution works, from farm to factory, which means we need small-scale processing equipment, and that stuff's expensive. Without it, the tomatoes won't make it to the dinner table.
We got some sweet rewards lined up, like rad tomato t-shirts.
And your very own patch of tomato sauce tomato paste, so you can cook the Nigerian way.
Thanks for watching.
We hope you'll join our team.
My tomato just see oh, I don't think about you. It dey make me the wonder because you love me so tender. Hey, yeah. But now I am darling, cause here is so boring. Baby.
Okay, so that's their video. First, they put a video to document their story in a very professional and enticing and fun way. So that's one. Then they put up pictures, and then they talk their story. This is their campaign story, which is what I was saying. Tell your story well. Now they've told you, they've identified a problem. They've talked about making tomato paste, in locally made tomato paste, growing it in Jos, and then making the paste from there so that people, Nigerians can stop importing tomatoes or importing tomato paste. So later, we have a problem. At Tomato Jos, we believe in the power of making high quality food for local consumption. We have a problem. Nigerians love tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. They are now introducing the problem. So if you go to our How It Works page on fundandenterprise.org, we have documented the steps you need to take. So you need to identify a problem you need to solve. That is what every business is about. If a business is not solving a problem, it might likely not succeed. So you need to be able to solve a problem in your own unique way. So fresh tomatoes, Nigerians love tomatoes. Fresh tomatoes and tomato paste are used in almost every Nigerian dish, from delicious red stew to spicy jollof rice. But rural farmers in Nigeria have a hard time growing really great tomatoes, and most of their harvest rot before it reaches the consumers in the big cities. Since Nigerians can't get their tomato fix locally, they've become the largest importer of tomato paste in the world, spending almost $500 million every year. Now, that's a lot of paste. So tomato paste, introducing Tomato Jos. Tomato Jos means cute girl in Nigerian slang. That's Tomato Jos. We all know the slang. Because the tomatoes come from Jos, a city in Nigeria. The tomatoes that come from Jos are especially sweet and juicy. It's also the name of our company. So they describe their company and they describe where they are located a few hours outside of Jos. So they are now telling you what problem they have come to solve. Team Tomato Jos wants to reduce wahala, that is the stress, for farmers and deliver a fabulous product. That is, first of all, grow a good product with good input, with good seeds to hungry tomato lovers everywhere in a paste. Our company is going to make the first homegrown tomato paste to hit the shelves in Nigeria. This campaign was done in 2015, May 2015 or 2014, thereabout. So whether they succeeded in this journey, I really can't say. It's outside of the scope of what we are talking about. We're not critiquing the company. It is the campaign we want to show you that it is well thought out, and you can see that there's value in what they're offering. So they talk about growing the tomato. They said they've raised some money to be able to grow tomato to some extent, but that they need to raise money to buy the equipment for making it into paste. So putting the tomato in the tomato paste. So they tell you the stories. They're now telling you the stories. They're now telling you the benefits on farmers' income from the loss they are making now to income. They're making loss from unsold and rotting tomatoes, yield, what they intend to achieve. education, better seeds, fertilizer, guaranteed buyer. This is all what their company is going to achieve if they come to life, if you support them. Our pace brings all the boys in the yard. There's also a fun way of relating to their name, which is Tomato Joss, which is a cute girl. So once we get our hands on the best tomatoes that Nigeria has to offer, we're going to make tomato paste that is delicious and all natural. In order to make really good paste and fulfill our social mission, we need to work across the value chain for tomatoes, from the greenhouse all the way to the grocery stores, from getting the tomato from the farm to when it hits the stores, the shops. So that's why we're operating 3 business lines: farming, processing, and logistics. So they will farm, they will process into paste. Logistics is also moving from the farm to the production center, and moving out of the production center to the stores where it will be sold. That's where you come in. So they are telling us what they've already started, what they've already acquired, and they are now showing us all the machines that they want to go for the small scale one of $50,000 for now. But if it will allow us to buy $30,000 worth of tomato in our first month alone. So, but you have other ones too that can make more. These are the bigger ones. That's why I said go for the smaller one and make a realistic goal. So if they had gone to take this 9 million one, it's not realistic, because it's not something that you want to start small and grow big, and you may not get $9 million off crowdfunding off for the first time you're just starting a project. It's not like you're expanding. So these people have gone for this cheapest one, smallest one, to start small and grow big, and it's realistic, and people can trust that, okay, they are modest, and at least they are responsible. So they continue their story, the problem they want to solve, how they want to solve it, their name, the progress they've made so far, the next steps, what the support that they need, and the prices of the promises that they are going to be making. These are the promises. So they tell you the risks and challenges that they might encounter, or the security equipment, all these low harvest, these are inherent risks. So you can't come and you're promising everything. You can't promise everything. You have to document the challenges you might face, so that people will not look at you as if you're not serious. That, okay, every business venture doesn't flourish. And that's not solely because the owners are not serious or they did not document a business plan. It's because there are risks and challenges out of their control that they could not help. They couldn't really genuinely could not help. So the business does not work out the way it ought to have worked out. So you need to be able to articulate those. That's why you need to articulate your business. It's just like drawing up a mini business plan. This is their business plan. And they're telling you how much it will yield, how much it will cost, how much it will generate, what it can benefit for the farmers, what it can benefit for the Nigerian economy, and all that. That's a good story, which is not excessively too long. Okay, so here are the pledges. They are making, promises for what people will pledge. So they said pledge. That's pledge. Kickstarter works on pledge. So you don't get the money. They don't charge your donors. They don't debit your donors until your campaign goal is out exceeded. So if you want to raise $50,000, and let's say you have less than 80% of it, they are not going to charge your donors, because if they give you 80% of, they are not handholding you. They don't know you. They're not going to follow. Kickstarter is not like fundandenterprise.org that will follow you and handhold you. This one, they are just going to give you the money once you raise it. So because just to be sure that at least some control is there, if you're coming out with $50,000 and people are donating only $20,000, of course you show them a machine that costs $50,000. So you definitely cannot buy that machine with $20,000. So that's the essence. They will just return all the money. So they don't call it donation, they call it pledge. People will pledge. So once they see that your campaign has reached over 80%, so that you can manage to buy what you want to buy, that's when they debit your donors, and then they give you the money. So these people are making promises. That's why I say promise some things in return. This is especially important, so I'm going to take some time to read them out. We may not take time to do every other thing, but we'll take time to read this one out. Say pledge $1 or more. We'll give you Tomato Talk. They name it. It's a fun way of naming something. The same thing also applies when you're creating campaign on fundandenterprise.org. You name it. Something like okay, we'll get to that. So Tomato Talk, stay connected to all things tomato. They are going to give you updates and news and updates if you give them $1 or more. If you give them $15 or more, they say build your own model farm. So you're going to join Tomato Just in Nigeria, or at least pretend to, in addition to getting your updates, news and everything about tomato. They will send you 10 tomato seeds and instruction on how to take care of them, so you can farm them on your own farm, in your own garden, at your home, anywhere. They ship to United States as well. So US people can also have tomato seeds from Nigeria once they give $15 or more. Then if you give another one, if you give $15 or more, they will cook jollof rice the Nigerian way. They will give you the recipe card to cook jollof rice the Nigerian way. If you have $45 or more, they named it You Say Tomato. Those are fun ways to name your donors, which also obtains on fundandenterprise.org, but a lot of people don't know about it. That's why you need guidance. That's why we're doing this webinar actually, so that you can always go and look at it, follow through, listen to it again on YouTube, and then create your own campaign. So You Say Tomato, you missed out on, that's the name of these donors. You Say Tomato, and that's the reward you're going to get. Missed out on the early bird special. Don't worry, you can still get your own Tomato Just tomato paste right here. Backers will receive 100 grams of paste along with recipe cards for jollof rice and 2 other delicious Nigerian dishes. And of course, we keep you posted on all things tomato. So they'll give you all the rewards here, plus the tomato paste. You understand? So it's graduated. So give $75 or more. Thank you from the bottom of our basket. That's what they named this one. So you get 100 grams of tomato paste, super soft American apparel, Tomato Just t-shirt, a t-shirt. They've added t-shirt again. Give you jollof rice, a spice pack, and the seeds to plant in your own farm. Yeah, so that's where, so like that, they graduated scale, give $100 or more. They give you, there's one that is, they say they will come to wherever you're living, and then they will make you jollof rice, three square meal, Nigerian meal with tomato paste, with their tomato, that they will fly to wherever you are. So this one, 7,000 or more, naming rights to our greenhouse. Who doesn't want their name to live on long after they've gone? Tomato Just is offering the opportunity of a lifetime. We want to dedicate our greenhouse, that's their farm, the place where all the magic starts, to you. One lucky backer will have his or her name in brass above our greenhouse door. Your name will be immortalized as the name in Center for Agricultural Excellence. You and one friend also get to come harvest with us and be guests of honor at our dedication ceremony. Plus, you will each receive your very own thank you from the bottom of our basket. Now, that's a steal. So you're going to come physically, and you're going to witness their occasion when they start, and they will put your name in brass on the door of their farm. So your name lives on as one of the supporters of this project forever and ever. So those are the kind of promises you're going to give. So let's go back to where we started. Okay, so meaning of success. We've run through a successful crowdfunding campaign, and that campaign was successful in 2014 or thereabouts. So now using fundandenterprise.org to crowdfund. Let's come back home. That one is for people in the US, but that's how they document. If you look through all the campaigns there, you find out that they do a good story that makes sense, that is professional. So we cannot come and be slacking. It's a business we want to run after all. And if you want to start a business, whether you're crowdfunding or not, you have to draw up a story, a proposal, a profile that looks wow. So why not do it when you're coming to raise funds on fundandenterprise.org? It's a donation and reward-based crowdfunding platform for supporting micro, small, and medium-sized businesses in Nigeria and Africa. So fundandenterprise.org, all your donations, we don't process money. We do not process money. Any money you're donating will be on Paystack platform. Once you click our donate button and you're ready to donate, there's Paystack and Flutterwave. Paystack, I'm sure everybody must have heard of Paystack or Flutterwave before now. So those are platforms that process payments. So we don't handle your credit cards or your card details or your bank details on Fund Enterprise. So people should have that trust that we do not, because we don't have the facility to keep your bank details safe. So we link it to Paystack or Flutterwave. That's where you check out from. So you're going to pay through Paystack or Flutterwave if people want to donate. If you want to donate to any campaign or people want to donate to you, they will have to go through Paystack or Flutterwave, because we can only do what we can guarantee, which is keep this website secure and safe. But we don't have the capacity to manage a payment system because we're not a payment processing company. So we trust that your payments are processed in a secure environment because they go through Paystack or Flutterwave, depending on the one you choose. We're going to get to that when you're donating. So you need to be sure, finally, you need to be sure that you actually need funding, because most times we find out that businesses may not actually need all the funds. With too much funds is a problem because you're going to use it, you're not going to be careful, or you're going to use it very innovatively because you have excess funding. So you might want to check if what you need is, brushing up your management or entrepreneurial skills, and then harnessing innovation and partnerships, good business partnerships. If that's what you need to sell more, you may not actually need funding. So be sure you need funding before you go for funding. If you need training, we have those trainings on fundandenterprise.org. So you can actually pay an expert to train you, or you can send your problems, send your details of your issues that you think you have, which may actually not be funding, because you hear of people getting funding several times. Maybe you have a relation, you have supported that person with money several times, the money does not come back. Business doesn't do well, capital always crashes. The capital will just finish. The person will come back again and the person is jobless, there's no business is running, but you're giving this person millions of naira. So you should know that at that point, you don't need to get to that point to know that it's not funding that you need. It might actually be like you need to hone your entrepreneurial skills. There are skills that you need to have. It's not by force, it's not by mouth. You need to have entrepreneurial skills, the passion, the strength to innovate, the ability to innovate, or people around you. That's why you need partners. If this partner can offer this and you don't have it, and you have something and your partner can use what you have, that's where partnerships work. So you can sell and grow your business without necessarily looking for fund or loan. So you create a good crowdfunding campaign on fundandenterprise.org, following the examples and tips that we have discussed so far. Then we're going to review it, and if it makes sense, we work with you to publish it on our website. So that's about crowdfunding on fundandenterprise.org. So we're now going to give an example. We're going to give an example of how to create a campaign on fundandenterprise.org. So maybe at this point, I will just pause a bit to take questions if there are questions on, I see questions on Q&A. So let me see if I can open it while I'm sharing my screen. No, Magnus, please, can you assist with some of the questions so we can take questions before we go into a demo? We'll do a demo on fundandenterprise.org.
Okay, so thank you very much, Vivian. Just so you know, we spent almost 1 hour already.
Yes.
There are 3 questions here, and I'll take it from the first to the last.
Okay, go ahead.
The first question is from, and his question is, as crowdfunding is just gaining ground in Nigeria,
okay,
I see many crowdfunding sites with people never attaining their funding goals. You see crowdfunding sites like GoFundMe, people get their funding goals on that site. What is fundandenterprise.org doing to mitigate this problem?
Okay, so I think at some point I had discussed this. That is the essence of this webinar, actually. This is one thing we're doing to mitigate this problem. So I said, Nigeria, I think there's a trust deficit, or maybe we don't trust our own for ourselves, or probably because we're not a debt-based, people don't get back what they invested plus interest. It's a new place for Nigeria, and this is one thing we're doing to help mitigate the goals. There are several campaigns that are not even donated. First of all, the person creating the campaign does not have the following or what it takes. The person is not even sharing their campaign. As in, so what's fundandenterprise.org going to do for you? We can only share to our network, and we have all the campaigns go through our network. So it's going to be a continuous thing for our network. So it's just one network that we have. But if you have your networks, you share, we share, you do a proper crowdfunding, and all this awareness that people should trust. People should trust, people should have the mindset to donate. You that you're creating campaign should be able to offer something in return. That is a starting point. This webinar is one of the things we are doing to be able to help, campaigns to grow. Magnus, the second question.
Yeah, so I just want to add as well some other things we're doing. So if you go to our website, there's a link where you can see how to create a crowdfunding campaign. And like those other crowdfunding websites, once you apply for your campaign there, if it doesn't meet their criteria, they delete it and notify you. But what we're trying to do, because it's still, yes, it's beginning to gain ground in Nigeria, but it is still very new in the sense that it is now being automated. Like Vivian started in a session, crowdfunding is as old as money itself, and a number of us have been involved in crowdfunding, but doing it now through a formal, legitimate platform is the new thing. The second question is also from Mohammed Keshingo, and he's saying on equity-based crowdfunding, is it a limited liability company or a PLC that can do equity-based crowdfunding?
Well, once you start doing crowdfunding, equity-based crowdfunding, then that's where the conflict lies, because you become a publicly listed entity without being on the stock exchange. So you just change your status automatically by yourself to a PLC. So it's not recognized in Nigeria. There are other countries like South Africa where you can do it, and those people have the license to do crowdfunding online for equity. So that's where the question you ask is just where the conflict lies, because you can't be a limited company and you're coming to sell shares to the public without being regulated. So you cannot be a PLC and now you're coming to do what PLCs are doing. Okay, Magnus, the next question.
The third question is from Gloria MD. Gloria is asking, what if you are unable to raise the full funds for the deadline, by the deadline? Will the funds raised be returned to the funders? So she's saying, if you raise a crowdfunding and you do not meet all of your funding amount. Okay, go ahead.
So the crowdfund, if you raise a certain amount of funding, unlike other places where they will return the funds to the donors, we're going to look at the percentage you have raised. We're just going to look at what you have raised, see if it's something we can rerun the campaign. So if it's something that is already encouraging, we will know that there is potential for that campaign. We rerun. If it's something that we rerun and we're still not getting the goal, we're going to work with the person. All these things are documented on our website. We're going to have to work with you to find out, okay, you don't have all the funds from here. This is how you might want to raise the complete funds. So you might go and you might work with us to get a loan to complete it. Or we might relook your business plan to say, okay, why not start with this? Why not? So all these things are innovation. Okay, why not partner with this person who has this equipment already? So this person has this equipment, you don't need to buy. So why not partner since you don't have money to buy because your campaign was not successful? Let us lease this equipment from these people with this amount. You understand? So we relook your business plan and strategies to see how much we can work with what you already have. If it's absolutely impossible, then you need to explore other means like borrowing to be able to support. And at that point, it becomes easier to borrow and cheaper to borrow because you already have most of your funds sourced. And that's an indication to the bank that this business will succeed though, because people have been donating to it. And it won't take time before they give you the fund and you continue your business. So those are the alternatives. So we're not returning the funds to the backers, but if you're creating a campaign and all what you're getting on your campaign is 1,000, 5,000, sorry, we're just going to leave it there for we are going to just use it to run the website. So we just take it as, oh, sorry, oh, wow, 5,000 naira for your campaign. Fundandenterprise.org will just use it as a donation. If you're looking for 10,000 for your business and you got 5,000, that means you got 50% of your campaign goal. So we're still going to give you that 5,000 naira to work with it with a revised strategy, just like I explained earlier. But if you're looking for 3 million and what you're getting is 5,000, I have to be blunt with you. Forget it. Your campaign did not work. Okay, so and the crowdfunding campaign and all the trainings and everything, we also need resources. So don't forget that crowdfundenterprise.org also needs donations to work. So far, it's only a few group of people who are the trustees who have been funding everything there. So don't forget that part as well. Okay, so any other question before we go ahead? Okay, for now. Okay, so we're just now going to demo how to create a campaign on fundandenterprise.org. Okay, I hope you can see my new screen. Right. Can you see my new screen, please?
Yes, you can see your screen.
So this is fundandenterprise.org. You just come here, click on create a campaign. And if you haven't logged in, it will take you to this page, but you have to log in or register. So just come to the website, the upper right-hand corner, you see create a campaign, click on it. If you want to create a crowdfunding campaign to ask for money for your business project, so, or for your new startup, or for your expansion project. So as an MSME in Nigeria or in other parts of Africa, you can use fundandenterprise.org because recently Paystack, our payment partner, they were acquired by Stripe. And so now they can do all African countries. So wherever you raise funds from, we can pay you. The reason why we were not doing all parts of Africa before was if you raise funds as the campaign creator, we might not be able to credit your account. But now that Paystack is working in the whole of Africa, we can be able to credit you through Paystack once you raise funds on fundandenterprise.org. Okay, so you create a campaign, you say your campaign name. Remember that one we looked at, tomato juice, making homegrown tomato in Nigeria. Just find a creative way to name your campaign. That's what will show on the home page. Then with this short description, that's what a creative thing, problem, like your problem you're solving, a problem you identified, and how your business wants to solve it is okay as short description. Then your fundraising goal, which we had discussed before, and if you go to www.fundandenterprise.org/how it works, you see how to generate your fundraising goal. Plus, you have to make adequate provision for your hand holding, because the foundation will take a percentage of your fundraising goal to be able to fund your hand holding, compulsory hand holding, and training for 1 year. We'll monitor you for 1 year, and people are going to have to pay for transportation to come to where you are, in the north, in the south, anywhere you are in Nigeria. People will have to monitor you to do a lot of things, make sure your business is on the right track for 1 year. So percentage, and then we have payment processors who are charging the platform. We also have website payments. We have serious firewalls and security on this website, which are very expensive. So those are the things you need to read from how it works before you start. Please check it. So you need to be able, the foundation will take a percentage of your goal, maybe between 10 to 15 to 20%, depending on how big your funding goal is. So if your project, your business, after you have articulated everything according to what we wrote on how it works page, this is the page here. This is the page. So let me just go to how it works, please. Just a minute, we'll soon close. We gave you steps and gave you other tips. Document your business plan as follows. So then this is, when you finish, this is how you get your, number 9 tells you that this is how you get your funding goal. And then you add that percentage. We advise you add 20% or 10. If your campaign goal is large, just add 10%. If your campaign goal is very small, just add 20%, because it will cost money to handhold you for 1 year. So once you add it, that becomes your campaign funding goal. So, but when you're articulating your funding goal, you do not have to budget for financial or business support services. No, you do not have to budget for it, because everything will be taken care of from the foundation within that percentage we are taking. So that's a good place to, that's a good news or a warming news. You don't have to budget for accountants or accounting services or business accounting software or staffing. People will help you with find staff. You don't have to budget for what you pay for all those services, because the foundation will take care of it. Okay, so then length in days, I say 30 to 45 days is always ideal. Then you choose your category. If it's agriculture, choose your tags. If it's anywhere from here, you choose category. Then you now give us your story. Just like that tomato juice story, you give us your story. If you have links, you must put your video. If you have video somewhere on YouTube for your campaign, you put the link here, the URL to here, put it here. Then put the image you want to upload, put it here. If you have more images, okay, this is the link to your video. You can also put more links here within your description. It will all show. If you have more images, you can always alert us that you have more images, because this one takes one. You send it to our email and we'll help you upload when we're reviewing. So when people make a donation to your campaign, they will be able to donate this amount. So you choose. So add a suggested amount. Sorry, I'm looking at, so just like I said, you can say, okay, 500, let's say 500 naira. I'm just using this one. We'll now say description, you are awesome, something like that. Or you say awesome donor. Or then that's it. You add another one, different. You add, maybe you add 500,000 naira. You say a lifesaver. You remember how those people were naming their tomato juice from the bottom of the basket, tomato, this one. A lifesaver from God, something like that. Now say Another one, just add the levels you want. You can have 1 million. You now say your name will be immortalized. Just name them. You can use your own slangs or something that relates to your business to name them, just like that tomato one that we looked at. So if you're producing corn or you're processing, you have a wheat mill, or you're doing something on IT, you can use the name of your business to be naming something that, somebody will read, and it will help the person to feel appreciated. So as long when you finish, you just put your details here, your bio, your bank account details, put your bank account details. Then if you want to drop your profile photo, you drop. That's after you must have finished, you must have done your business plan and everything. We read it from another platform, maybe on your Word document, before you can now come here and put all of it. When you're satisfied, you can click save and preview. So you can always come back to it to work on it if you're not done. If you're satisfied, you click submit campaign. That's where when we get it from the platform, and then we look at it again, contact you if it's not good enough. If it's good enough, we just help you add 1 or 2 things and we publish. So that's about creating campaign on fundandenterprise.org. So, okay, then how do you donate to a campaign on fundandenterprise.org? So this is the last part of our web presentation. Last quickly, how do I donate? How do I donate? So this one, we'll just use this campaign as an example from the website. So click donate. Click donate. This person did not add labels to the donation page. So you just want any amount you want. So anything you want to donate. Okay, let's just start with 1,000 naira. You click on donate. It goes to checkout page. Very simple. You look at it again. Item you're donating to, donation to this campaign, establishment of plantain orchard. Then look at the price. If you don't want again, you remove it from here. Then you select, is it Rave is Flutterwave or Paystack? Anyone you want to select, you select. Select anyone. They are both the same secure, good payment platforms. So we choose Paystack. You click on Paystack. You put your email address, your name, first name, last name. They use it to Paystack and Flutterwave. They use it to personalize your account, and their email, they will use it to send you purchase receipts. So you don't have to log into our website to donate. You can donate as an outsider. Then if you don't want your name to show as a donor on this campaign, just want to donate anonymously, please click here, click on donate. I would like to donate anonymously. Then you will now this is our privacy policy. Please click on it, agree to our, you can click here to check what it entails. So, but it's nothing. She will just tell you how we use your information, or how we do not even use your information on this website. It's for the payment platforms, just according to the guidelines on privacy, internet privacy for users. Please check this privacy policy. Then click on purchase. So it's just like buying goods or services off the internet. It's just the same process. So once you click on purchase, it takes you out to a Paystack platform. This is no longer fundandenterprise.org. This is no longer Fund and Enterprise. This is a Paystack platform. Look at it. Can you see the address here? Checkout.paystack.com. Sorry, this thing is copying it. So that's the address, the URL. There is no longer fundandenterprise.org. So don't bother about security. The same thing for if you click on Flutterwave. So you put your payment, that one is outside of our control. Put your payment details and then you pay, and you have simply donated to a crowdfunding campaign on fundandenterprise.org. So it's as easy as that. And that brings us to the end of my presentation today on how to crowdfund, the benefits and tips on fundandenterprise.org. So if you have has anybody got more questions? Let us quickly take them and then close. Any more questions?
Yeah, if you also want to ask your question directly, we can admit you into the room so that you can ask Vivian your question directly. All right, Vivian, I don't think there's any question.
Okay.
You can raise your hand if you want to ask a question or type it. So you can wrap up. Okay, Abubakar, Vivian, please admit Abubakar. He has raised his hand.
Okay, let me check. Okay, Abubakar, you can talk now.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, my questioning is, how do I hire a professional that can do all this for me? Because mostly this is a problem we entrepreneurs usually have. You see, when you want to maybe raise fund, they tell you maybe your business plan is not professional enough. Even though we are focused, we know what we want to do, but we still need to have a professional. For example, if I want to forward my campaign to your platform, how do I get a professional that can do that for me, so that these flops you have mentioned as we are following you will not create problem for me? Thank you.
Okay, so I said earlier in my presentation that we have professionals on our platform, on our database, who can help you. So if you need help in this regard, send an email to support@fundandenterprise.org. Then we'll be able to link you up with someone or people who can do your campaign professionally. So depending on what you want to do, if you want to put video, if you also want to do video, if you just want to write ups and pictures, something that is professional, something that brings out your brand in a very good way, you discuss with them, then they will charge you. But we have also agreed that whoever is coming to render services through this platform will charge very minimal fees. So it's most likely going to be much less than what you get outside. So depending on what you actually, if you want all those demo videos that look good, you liaise with them. If you want write-ups, we have professionals who can help you draft your campaign, but they will charge you. But they will charge you affordably because we have agreed with them. The same with other business support. If you want business plan done, the same thing applies. We also publish many of the fees on the page there's a page for business support services on the website. I really can't remember the address, but I think if you go to the home page, there's a button that takes you there. So you can check some of the prices there. You can see that they are very, very affordable. So if you need any of those services or any other business support service, or you need a professionally done campaign, just send an email. Yeah.
All right, ma'am. Thank you.
The email address and phone number will be posted on the chat box. Like again, I repeat, it is support@fundandenterprise.org, or you can also call the number that is shown on that chat box. Vivian has put it up one more for you to see. Then the recording of this webinar will be available before the end of this week on our YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube, search for Fund and Enterprise or the MSME Crowdfunding Foundation. Go to our channel, you will see past recordings of the webinar. Then this particular webinar recording will be uploaded before the end of this week.
Okay, somebody is also asking that whether they can get this material, this PDF offline, because network is an issue. That's okay. We'll arrange to send it to our mailing list. So we're going to send the PDF version by email, but again, maybe one by one, because if we send it through bulk mail, they will only allow us to send a link. So you need network, you need at least internet to open the link and view the PDF file. So but that's the most effective way than sending it one by one. So we'll just put it on Google Drive, and then you can click on it. You don't have to use data to start viewing video if network is an issue. So because even your email, for you to get email, you must have internet, right? So for us to even send anything at all via email. So once you have enough data to receive an email, you can click the link to the PDF. We'll put the presentation. Magnus, if that's okay by you, put the PDF link. So anybody who doesn't want to look at the video on YouTube, who doesn't have enough data, can also read through the PDF online. Okay, so with this, let us just close so that everybody can go back to their schedules for the day. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, Gloria is asking a question. She's saying, being a reward-based crowdfunding foundation, what nature of reward can entice the public for an agri initiative, essentially a potential farm for the cultivation of vegetables and fruits?
Okay, I used the example of a tomato farm, and they are doing farming as well as producing tomato paste. And one of their pledges, one of their promises was to send tomato seed together with a recipe on how to cook some food, some local dishes, recipe card. Or they also promise backers that they will put their names on their farms. So those are some suggestions you can also think of. They also said they can send t-shirt that they wrote tomato juice, the name of what they produce, specially designed t-shirt. So those are examples of promises you can make actually for an agri initiative, for a farm. Those are just few examples. So you can send vegetable seeds to them. Then you can send recipes on how to cook those vegetables, recipe card, or you can give them t-shirt or mug, mug that is engraved with what you do, or t-shirt, the one that will not break on transit. T-shirt is flexible, it won't break on transit. Or you can go to their pages on social media. You can say, I'll follow you and I'll retweet and like your tweets, and I'll get 5 people to retweet and like your tweets for the next 1 week. Well, people are also looking for social media following. So those are the things for me that comes off my head for now, for that your agri platform. But it's something you need to sit down and think of, innovate something that will entice people. Okay, any other question, please?
None.
All right, so thank you everyone once again. My name is Vivian, once again, Vivian Chigozie-Nmonwu. So I'm a trustee at the Crowdfunding Foundation, and I'm also a consultant, business consultant by profession. So thank you so much for listening to us once again today, and hope you find this video continuously useful on YouTube. So we'll see you next 2 weeks when we'll be discussing managing your finances. So thanks all, and have a good day. Magnus, any final words?
No final words, guys. Stay strong, be safe, stay out of trouble. Have a nice day.
All right, bye, everyone.